Another day, another exam. You've totally got this, man. I mean, it's just history. You love history. But speaking of history, you've historically made some stupid mistakes in exams. Remember last term? Oh, how you screwed up that essay.
What if you screw up again? No college for you, bro. In fact, you'll probably end up being an absolute failure. That Audi and house in Camps Bay, you'll never achieve that. You're stupid, which makes you pathetic.
Let's just stop that right there. We've all had that annoying negative voice in our heads before an exam or any other moment where we are nervous or uncertain about something. It's really common, but some of us struggle with anxiety more than others, and it can be truly crippling. Some of the highest anxiety moments in my life have been during my school exams. So today, I'd like to talk about some ways that you can cope with exam anxiety and get to the root of the problem that you're experiencing. There are 4 main fears that generally cause exam anxiety. Number 1, the fear of the unknown. Number 2, the fear of inadequacy. Number 3, the fear of punishment. And number 4, the fear of the stakes. I'd like to talk about each of these in detail, as well as look at ways that you can manage them. Starting with the fear of the unknown. This is brought about by thoughts of uncertainty, not knowing what lies ahead in the upcoming exams. What questions will be asked? What sections of work are the most important to study? What if I forget something? What if? It's natural to fear the unknown, but not if you allow it to completely enslave you. The best way to fight these feelings is to eliminate as much of the uncertainty as you possibly can. And how do you do this? It's very simple. Ask your teacher what kinds of questions are going to be asked during the exam. There seems to be an assumption that teachers aren't willing to share information on the upcoming exams. That's wrong. Sure, they won't tell you what exact questions are going to be asked. It would be nice if they could, but they can tell you which sections are important to know or the kinds of questions that will be asked. So there's no cost or harm in asking your teacher for more information about the exam. You can also source old exam papers to see what kinds of questions have been asked in the past. It's one of the best and most efficient ways to prepare. When it comes to your actual studying, recreate the exam conditions that you'll be in to make the experience of writing an exam more familiar to you. Study in a quiet spot with 0 distractions. Set a time limit for your studies so that you can learn how to best use your time to achieve the best results. The more you practice, the more natural you will feel when it comes to writing your exams, and the less uncertainty you'll have. Then moving on to the fear of inadequacy. This is the irrational fear that you're just not good enough. You're not smart enough to pass your exams. Firstly, you really are good enough. The only reason you feel that you aren't is because you keep telling yourself that you aren't. So the first step is to start telling yourself that you are good enough. It sounds corny, it sounds silly, but I want you to literally say out loud, I can do this, I can smash this exam. If telling yourself that you can't achieve well in your exams has made you feel so low, then why wouldn't telling yourself that you can do well not lift your spirits? And no, lifting your spirits isn't in and of itself going to help you get an A+, but it will put you in the right frame of mind to tackle studying, and studying will eventually help you get an A+. In combination with that, you should also do the following exercise. Take a piece of paper and write down all your worries. Just let them flow out. It doesn't matter how silly they sound. Taking those feelings out of your brain and putting them onto paper can help you to put them out of your mind. There was scientific research done on this, so feel free to look it up. Once all of these feelings of inadequacy are washed out of your mind, you can move forward and absolutely kill it in your next exam. Then the fear of punishment. This is the fear that if you fail at this exam, your parents are going to kill you. This one is something that both parents and children need to think about very carefully. What kind of expectations are being set for school results? Are the expectations realistic? Parents often compare their child to what they were like when they were at school. And if they did really well at a school or in a certain subject, they may expect their child to do the same. But every single one of us is different, and we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. Have an open conversation with your parents and explain how you feel. Maybe they are unknowingly putting large amounts of pressure on you without realizing it, thinking that they are actually encouraging you. By communicating with your parents, as difficult as you may find it, you will relieve some of the anxiety holding you back in your exams. And lastly, the fear of the stakes. This is where you feel that failing an exam will result in your entire life being a failure, that your entire future success hangs in the balance from this exam. Let me just say, the results of 1 or 2 tests do not define you nor your entire future. I am walking, talking evidence of that. You just need to put things into context. Imagine your whole life as one big picture and ask yourself, how big of a deal is this one exam against all of this? You'll soon realize that it is not as big of a deal as you initially thought. It's all about context. Remember, it's normal to be nervous for an exam. You're never going to completely rid yourself of all that anxiety. Never, I promise. But you can manage it, and that's the main goal. Another awesome way to beat exam anxiety is to sign up to an online study tool like WorksheetCloud.com. So take a look at it today.